Jaden Strubel getting some offense done as well. That was a highlight of this past season. Jaden Strubel signing the 2-year contract extension with the Canadiens, one-way deal, just over $1.4 million per season. And the question is, how many games is Jaden Strubel going to play? Will Jaden Strubel, Jackeye, or David Rybacher play more games? That is our hot topic. You can get involved at 11690. Use the iHeartRadio app. Download it today and use the talkback and send us a message if you want to get into the hockey talk here in the middle of July. But with Jaden Strubel signing this contract, brings the Canadiens to 7 contracts signed. And then you have David Reinbacher, who will be knocking on the door. And I'm very curious. This is Luca's question. Sean Campbell, Luca Scott. Luca's question is, who will play more games? Jaden Strubel, Jackeye, David Reinbacher. We know the fan favorite is Jackeye. And anytime Jackeye sits, the text messages come in. Yeah. You need him in the lineup. The team plays tougher. We got it through the playoffs last year. First 2 games of the playoffs, Strubel played. Then Jackeye came in.
Yep.
Jackeye versus Struble. Who does Marty St. Louis and Robida trust a little bit more? That's a whole other story. My answer is David Reinbacher. Because if Reinbacher's making the team, he's going to play. The Canadiens are a lot more at ease at sitting Jackeye or Struble as number 7. And they're not a team that plays 7 defensemen. Now, Rybacher could just not make the team and play a whole season in Laval as well. But he has the draft pedigree that the Canadiens like using. And he's a right-handed defenseman. You only have Dobson and Carrier right now. And Rybacher has gotten probably a little bit of a boost with the trade of Logan Mailloux. So my answer is David Rybacher because he's right. And if he makes the club, which I think there's a good opportunity for him to make the club, he's going to play. They're not having David Reinbacher make the club to sit him at 7 or 8. They could carry 8 defensemen if they want as well and carry 1 less forward. For the most part, the Canadiens didn't even carry 23 players last season. Usually they had 1 extra forward, 1 extra defense, and that was it. So initially, my answer is David Reinbacher will play more games than Strubel and Jackeye. What do you think? You went a different direction.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. I'm going to lean towards Jaden Strubel because I don't think that David Reinbacher is going to start the season off with the Habs. I think they're taking their time with him.
I can't wait for training camp because it's going to be such a great battle. And we're not even mentioning Adam Engstrom.
Yes, and who has played very, very well with the Laval Rocket last season. And although it does feel like it's a bit more of a long shot, he does have an opportunity, like everyone else in training camp, to prove himself and really put his name into the mix. And maybe come training camp time, I will add an Adam Engstrom to this list because it's more of a viable debate and option. But I don't think Reinbacher is going to get onto the team immediately. I do think they're going to try to take their time with him. Yes, he is the right-handed defenseman, but we've seen for Jaden Strubel, he can go both ways if he needs to. And once again, I think the fact that he played very well with Lane Hudson can go a long way for him. And obviously for Jackeye, he's the unicorn. He's the guy who can, because of the physicality, and if he can execute that physicality at the right times, change the momentum of a game. And like you said, everyone loves him, and we love him as well because he is such a polarizing player. But Jaden Strubel, to me, I feel like I know what I'm getting night in, night out on a more consistent basis from him. Now, could I see in game 60, 55, whatever, David Reinbacher is playing so well with the Laval Rocket that the Canadiens are trying to make a push or whatever, and they're like, you know what, let's bring in Reinbacher for this last bit of games, get him some experience, similarly to how they wanted Ivan Demidov to be a part of that race late into the season. Let's bring Reinbacher in to see and get him some game time action in very, very important games. And then he kind of just goes the rest of the way. Yeah, I could see that happening, definitely. I think he definitely has the potential to do that. But in that amount of time, I think Struble will have played enough games to to answer this question, essentially.
Yeah. So with Struble, I do like your point that, he has been comfortable with Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
And as a guy that, plays left and right,
Yeah.
it's so much more valuable as a 6th, 7th defenseman that you can play both sides.
Yeah.
And I think Struble has that ability more so than Jackeye, if I'm just going with those two.
Mm-hmm.
Rybacher comes in. He's not playing on the left side. You have so many left-handed defensemen anyways.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, with the left-handed defensemen, you've got Gooley, Matheson, and Hudson. Now, clearly, they've all played on the right side because the Canadiens have been left-handed strong for a very long time. But there was an idea that was brought in for David Rybacher. And maybe David Rybacher, this would have been the perfect opportunity for David Rybacher to come in, and we may even feel differently about this if he never got hurt over a year ago.
Yeah.
Right? If he didn't get hurt and he played the whole season and you saw he had that many more games, maybe the Canadiens as a whole go, our timeline was this year for him to start playing with the Canadiens.
Yeah.
But our timeline changed because he pretty much lost almost an entire season with that injury. But if you're ready, you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And David Rybacher is someone that watched a lot of Laval. Almost every game that I saw when he was back there, even when he came in late last season, he was the best overall defenseman. Now, there was rust, there was hiccups, but I've really not watched a game of David Rybacher where I said, oh, I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not to compare because he was compared to Logan Mailloux a whole lot.
Yeah.
Logan Mailloux is someone that I have put forward saying that he's got the NHL skating, the NHL physicality, the NHL shot, the NHL. But there were games you were like, what was that, Logan? Because I don't think he was able to put it all together. And I think that's why he kept staggering on his way to the NHL, and the Canadiens eventually traded him. There's been no staggering with David Reinbacher. I think he could show up at training camp and people will be like, he's ready. That's what happened last year. Remember with Lane Hudson? Mm-hmm. I was sitting here on July 28th, 2024, and people were like, so Lane Hudson's on the team. I go, probably, but I got to watch him in training camp. I watched him warm up before the first practice, and I was like, that guy's on the team because I fell in love with him just watching him warm up before the first training camp practice even began. And that's not because I didn't know how dynamic he was. We saw him against those games in Detroit, and I get it. But I think it's the same thing with David Reinbacher. A lot of people are going to be hesitating on him. And then in training camp, he's going to show up, and you're just going to look and go, how is he not on the team?
Yeah.
And maybe there's a bigger question where the Canadiens go, he's not. We know you're ready, but you're not on the team. Because we got Arbor, we got Struble. You're going to go play 25 minutes a night in Laval.
Yeah.
You're good to go. But if you're ready, you're ready. And the Canadiens have a spot ready for him on that right side. But are the Canadiens, if I did that, I don't do lines, but if I do that, right, and you put your Gooley with Dobson and you put your Matheson, Carey, and you have Hudson, you're like, is Rybacher the right guy for Hudson? You're like, no, not yet. Go sit down. There's a lot of different factors here.
Yeah, of course. And I think the point that you brought up of injury is a game changer.
Yeah.
Because like I would, if he never got injured, Sean, and we're talking about this same situation on July 28th, I would probably agree with you, and I think it would be even less of a discussion. Mm-hmm. But it's because of the injury and you, maybe them wanting to take time to make sure that he's 100% good to go and ready for the NHL, that they'll wait it out a little bit longer. But if he played all of last season,
they might have been a different choice. And we don't even know what that choice is, and we can't wait. I'm already excited for training camp. I'm already excited.